Not going to do much movement. This is just getting our body relaxed, bringing our mind into the body. So you're going to find a comfortable seated position. You're going to maybe want to cross your legs out in front of you. Please find a bolster or a blanket, something to lift your bottom so that you feel comfortable, because when we first start practice, our bodies are not very ready to move. I'm big on getting centered, getting some meditation in before we start moving, because the meditation will get us into our body, and if we're not in our body, then we push and we have resistance. You'll see what I mean. This is the first time I've videoed here, so we'll see. I'm looking at the back of the camera. So anyway, let's get into a comfortable seated position. I'm currently in hero pose. You can kind of let your feet sit outside of your bottom. Lift your butt using the blanket or a bolster. I have these kind of bolsters too. You know, roll up a comforter, whatever. Palms on legs. We're going to drop the shoulders, allow them to relax, just soften. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our focus right into our bottom. Feel your bottom just move, melt. Relax into whatever's supporting it, whether it be the mat or the blanket. So all you need to do right now is just feel the bottom completely soften. This takes focus. Now you're going to get distracted. You're going to start thinking or making a story. We like to make stories around anything that feels painful, like if our hips hurt. If you need to adjust, put your feet out in front of you, do it. You know, just get into a good, comfortable seated position. Once you're there, bring your focus right into that bottom. However long it takes you, I want you to bring all of your focus into your bottom, into your hips. Allow it to relax. Notice your breath. Bring it in through the nostrils. You don't have to do anything crazy with your breath. Just let it go in through the nostrils. Softly, and then let it go back out of the nostrils. The shoulders are soft, face is soft, your forehead is soft, your scalp is soft. Drop the shoulders. You start feeling them come up, drop them back down. We're not going into movement right now. We just want to get into our bodies. People call it grounding. I think grounding is like putting rocks in my pocket, but this is truly grounding, is when we intentionally take our mind and bring it down into the body instead of all this activity up here. Because I have that Gemini moon, so I have a lot of a very strategic activity going on in my brain. Anyhow, let's come back in. And like I said, take your time. This is no rush, because if you just did this part of the practice for your full hour or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you will stay in shape. It's amazing how just breath work will keep your body in shape. So don't ever skip this part before you work out. Just make sure you come into your body. Even when I hopped on the treadmill, I always like to start, if you do like a regular workout, starting on a treadmill, when you're walking, you can sort of get into that zone. So that's what we're doing, but we're doing it seated. Anyway, let's come back into our bottoms. we're going to take a nice big inhale through the nostrils. Fill the belly, fill the chest. This is very exaggerated. Bring the oxygen in all the way. Fill the body. The rib cage expands. Bring it in. And as you exhale, you're going to clamp that, contract that base of the spine, the pelvic floor, perineum, whatever you want to call it. You have a basket, your pelvic floor basket. We're going to contract that. We're not going to start up here. We're starting all the way down. Contract it. You're holding it this is as you are exhaling. So take time to learn this, because you want to start at the base of the perineum. You exhale, draw, or you're not exhaling. Contract the perineum through the pelvis, draw the navel back to the spine, tuck the diaphragm, and so that feels like you're hollowing out your belly, and then it can release through the nostrils or through the mouth. So generally, if you're in a non-cardio mode, you can just in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. Let's say you get into a cardio, then in through the nostrils, always, out through the mouth. So if you start to do cardio, always in through the nostrils, out through the mouth. In through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. It's totally up to you. But when we are stationary like this and just getting into our bodies, you can even start with in through the nostrils and then a big lion's breath. Oh, kids love this. And let it go. It feels good. So funny how I remember feeling like I was afraid to do a lion's breath. People are like, hold it back. And now I'm like, so let it go. And then take your big in-breath. Fill the belly, fill the chest, fill the whole body. Exhale as you contract the perineum, pull the navel back to the spine, tuck the diaphragm. Don't forget to tuck the diaphragm. We're hollowing out the belly, out through the nostrils. Okay. Here we go. Exhale. Bring those down, somebody. In through the nostrils. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Contract the perineum. Draw it up through the pelvis. Draw the navel towards the spine. Tuck the diaphragm. You don't need to. We're not going to do the spinal extension here in the cat-cow. We're going to stay nice and long and strong in the spine and straight. The neck is soft. The shoulders are soft. Now let's come back into the body, because we've created resistance with all the energy that we took to focus on using our breath technique. We're going to come back into the body, sit down nice and easy, melt the bottom, let everything go, let the shoulders relax. And now that you've had some big breaths, you might feel a little tingling. That's the energy flowing through the body, releasing resistance, and we're allowing the energy to flow into the body. If you feel that tingling, let it increase, because what happens is most likely you'll feel it in your arms or hands. Focus your attention into that tingling. When you start getting distracted, come back into the bottom, relax your bottom. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our attention to an outside sound, so go external. It has to be something that is consistent sound, that does not, you don't have any opinion about it. So you have a fan, or let's say you have an air conditioner running, or a heater, or any kind of machine sound. Bring your attention fully into that and keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there. Don't let it go. Today it's like really windy, so I could literally focus just on the wind. And then when you bring that focus out of your mind, you realize you can't think and listen at the same time to a consistent sound. So now that we've got all tense, like finding those 3 processes or those 3 options, we're going to go into it easier now. Just sit down into your bottom, allow everything to relax, release all the resistance in your body. If you start to feel like you're uncomfortable, you can switch positions. This is a good time. Shoulders are relaxed. All of your focus is inside of your body, the physical body. You're seeking for anything that might feel tight or needs to soften. Embrace any tingling. Allow it to move through the rest of the body. It's healing. Now we're going to come to the breath. Big inhale through the nostrils. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, contract the perineum, draw it up through the pelvis. Navel gets pulled back towards the spine, and we tuck that diaphragm. Don't forget to tuck the diaphragm as we're hollowing out our belly. Keeping the shoulders soft, the face is soft, do not tighten. Exhale through the nostrils. Another one, inhale through the nostrils, fill the belly, fill the chest. Take your time, exhale, contract base of the spine, pelvic floor, through the pelvis. Draw the navel back to the spine, tuck the diaphragm. Don't forget, you're hollowing out the belly. You're hollowing out the belly. These are your 3 lower chakras. These are where it's our trash can. I mean, well, it's all of our human, like, we need it for living on the planet, but we collect a lot of density down there. So what we're doing is we're contracting the spine, or the perineum, which presses that density up through the sacral and then into the solar plexus. And if we hollow that out, it's not allowed to stay. And this is so good for your digestion. So let's do one big inhale. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale. Not forgetting, starting down here. We don't start up here, we start all the way down. Exhaling, hollowing out the belly, hollowing out the belly. Now we're just going to bring our attention to a sound outside of us. Don't let anything take your focus off of that sound. And then when that does happen, choose one of those 3 areas to come back into the body. Relax into your seat. Feel it soften. Feel yourself coming back into your body, out of the head. Take that nice big in-breath through the nostrils. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, contract the perineum through the pelvis. Draw the navel back to the spine. Tuck the diaphragm. Back into the bottom, shoulders, face. If your eyes are closed, it's good to look through the eyelids. So if you start to dart around, that means that your thoughts are going. Choose one of those 3 just to get relaxed before we start to practice, before you start to move. That way then you don't have resistance, you won't get that rigid body once you start to move into your postures. So after this, after we just get settled into our practice, and you do what works for you. So alternate in between the 3, or if one is working for you, stay with that. But always make sure you're coming into your breath, and that you bring in the breath more and more into the beginning, so that when you start moving, that you're ready to use that breath. So inhale again through the nostrils. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, draw it up from the perineum, or contract the perineum, draw it up through the pelvis. Pull that navel back to the spine and tuck that diaphragm, hollowing out the belly, out through the nostrils. Again, listen listen for something outside of you, relax the bottom. Stay here as long as you need until you're ready to start moving. And then when we are ready to start moving, the next thing I would do, if I was teaching you, and keep our palms on our knees, or yeah, and then inhale, look up to the sky, chest comes up to the sky. This is a spinal flexion, so it's like a back bend position, right? So it's always the inhale. When the chest is open, the inhale. Now we exhale, we roll it out. Draw the biceps towards each other. Now we're not going to get tense here, we're going to keep it soft. Tuck the chin, hollow out the belly. Remember to contract from the perineum up through the pelvis. Pull the navel back, tuck the diaphragm. Don't forget, you're hollowing out your belly. Now you're in a spinal extension, so you're opening up that vertebrae. Tucking the chin, but still keeping the chin soft and the shoulders soft, the face soft. But you're using the opposition of your knees. The knees can press down on the palms, and the palms can pull up on the knees. That gives you that, it helps to open the spine. As you exhale. Inhale, let's roll it up. Drop the shoulders back down into the pockets. Lift the chest to the sky. Inhale, big inhale. Fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, roll it out. And we'll do a few more of those, and then we will move into our practice. That's it. Thanks for joining me.